When you're a one woman show, you work hard for some things. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another one to A Woman's Heart, where we uplift, motivate, encourage, and empower women. I hope everybody had a good day today, and I hope everybody enjoyed the highlighting of women in business on yesterday. And I see that Kanisha put a post up with a code, so you all can go to the website with 2AW Heart and get 30% off your orders. So make sure you do that. All right. Appreciate it. So tonight topic is straight from the heart. We're talking about life. And the reason I chose this title, um, referencing life, is because we as women, we go through so many things. Women go through divorce, um, a loss of a child, a loss of a spouse, a loss of a parent, loss of a job, financial stresses, kids don't act right, spouses don't act right, boyfriends don't act right, your friends don't act right. And sometimes it places a lot of stresses on us. And a lot of women just are not equipped to handle it. And not only that, if you're in a relationship and you have dependent on your spouse to be the provider, even though you may work or you may not work, you've been dependent on him to provide for your household. And then that relationship dissolves and you find out that you don't have any skills, you don't have any money because he's taking it all back. And then you're looking at yourself in the mirror, asking the question, how did I allow myself to get in this position? And the only thing for some women that helps them is they have children that can take some of the pressures off. Then, as we go through life, as I'm venturing off into different things, I'm learning that we really don't take care of the business that we should. We're good at maintaining our hair. We're good at maintaining, our outfits, our shoes, and doing our makeup. But when it comes down to life insurance, when it comes down to making sure our credit is up to par, we allow individuals to take our focus off of us. Sometimes we don't feel like those things are important. And I'm hearing this a lot as of late. When somebody passed and you realize they don't have any insurance, um, and then you got to pass the cup. You got to do a GoFundMe account um, to try to collect those funds to bury your loved one, your friend, or whatever it may be, and that can be quite difficult. Or we are in a relationship, or maybe we're married, um, and our spouse is taking care of everything, the mortgage, the utilities, and you think that you're covered good in insurance. And there's a lot of women, and this is all about life. There's a lot of women who have been placed in a position where they realize they were not covered like they thought they were. And I just want us to be mindful as women, because we spend all our time taking care of somebody else, and we sacrifice ourselves in the midst of taking care of somebody else. We don't think about our needs and we don't think about our wants because we're so busy trying to meet somebody else's needs and meet somebody else's wants. And we can't do that, because in anything that you're a part of, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, whether it's a friendship, a family relationship, it takes two people to make that relationship work. One person can't work the relationship by themselves and think it's going to be a healthy relationship. That's not how that works. It don't work that way. um and then if I'm a good friend to you, I expect the same in return. But then we have to know everybody's not like us. They're not. We don't prepare ourselves Some women, they leave their parents' household because they're tired of following those rules, and you trade in those set of rules for a whole different set of rules, and what you're dealing with over there is much worse than what you was dealing when you was living in your parent house. So we have to sit down as women and take an evaluation, because life happens to everybody. It does. It don't let you know when it's knocking on your door. It don't ring your phone and say, okay, a catastrophe is coming. Okay, a financial storm is coming. Okay, your husband's going to leave you. Okay, your children is going to give you problem. Okay, your job is going to let you go. Okay, you and your family members are going to have some difficulties. Okay, your mom and the daughter's not getting along. Life don't prepare you for that. It doesn't. It just happens. And it happens so quick that you're not even able to stand the storm, because it comes like a tsunami deep down from up under the ground, and it just pops up. And then it's not one thing, it's not two things, it's not three things, it's a whole bunch of things that happen. And it seems like soon as one thing happens, it becomes a domino effect. And that one thing turns into something else. And then that second things add on to the first and the second thing. And then now you seem like you got a pile up that's happening. So scenario. So say, you are married, or say you're in a relationship, and you're in your boyfriend, and you're living with each other, and say that you have the agreement that he's going to pay the rent, and he's going to pay the mortgage, and he's going to make sure the life insurance is paid up, and all you got to do is pay the utilities. But then again, like I said in other videos, he come home and he said he don't want to be in a relationship anymore. He don't want to be married anymore. And so now he walks away. Now you're left with the mortgage. You're left with insurance that you have no idea about. And then your credit is messed up, and so now you have kids to feed. You wasn't working, because you was depending on his income. Now you don't have an income. Now you got to figure out how to get a job, but you don't have the skills that you need to get a job, the job that you would that will provide you stability to provide for your household. And say you do have a job, but it's not making as much money as you wanted to, and say that relationship is not working, whatever the reason may be. You have a job, and then he walks out, whether he's your boyfriend or your husband, whatever it may be, he walks out. So now you got the mortgage, you got the rent, you got the utilities, you got your insurance, you got to take care of your kids. Now your kids is acting up. Now you got the job, you go to work, and they tell you that they're downsizing the department, and today is your last day. And then you go by the bank to put some gas in the car, and you realize that he has taken all the money out of the account. Now, is that not a tsunami that is happening in your life? Is that not a storm that is sweeping through your world? Is it not? And then if most people, well, even myself, you have to digest, and some of that stuff shock you to no end, because you're not believing that this person has done this to you. So now you're in a position, you got to figure out how to pay the mortgage, how to pay the rent, how to pay my car note. I'm losing my job. I got to find another job. My kids acting up. He done took all the money. And you know what happens to most women when they're placed in that situation? Do you know what happens to them? They snap. They become depressed. And some even, and y'all hear me talk about this a lot because it's real, they even go home and say, it's too much. It is just too much. And this is the weight of the world that's on your shoulder. I'm saying to every woman, whether you're in these situations or not, you need to know the business. You need to know the business. You should not be dependent on somebody else to, even though you are in a partnership, even though you're in a relationship, you still need to know what's going on for this specific reason right here. You need to know because life happens. You need to know how to pay the mortgage. You need to know how to pay the rent, pay the utility bills. Don't put all your stuff in the hands of one individual because people change, they walk away, they break their promises, and they just leave you holding the bag. And then they go on and start a whole different life. Now you got to figure it out from scratch. You ain't got no insurance, you know, because you was in a relationship with him and say you his spouse, your insurance is laid on his insurance. Now you without insurance, whether it's medical or life insurance. And we just, we as women, we give too much of ourselves. We lose ourselves in the person to whom we're with. We sacrifice who we are as women, and we end up with the short end of the stick. And let me say this too, because I've listened to this story too. Um, the man you're dating, and he says that he's getting a divorce, or some have even said they are divorced, and we don't take the time to validate that those statements are true. We take him for his word that, you know, divorce has taken place and is legitimate, and we go on, you know, and live life, and we start building in this life. You know, we get the kids, and we get the house, and we get the car, and everything is going good. And he goes to work one day, and then the job calls and says something happened at work. And you're all upset because it's the man that you love. You thought you was going to spend the rest of your life with. And they tell you we had to get the ambulance and take him to the hospital. And they tell you what hospital he's at. And you get your purse and you get your keys. And, you know, you're upset and you're praying to God. You hoping that he's okay. And you get to the hospital and you walk in and you tell them who you are. You say, "Hi, I'm Miss Jacqueline, and my husband Johnny is in the hospital, and I want to see him." And they tell you to have a seat in the waiting room, and now you're in a panic because now you think something is really wrong, and usually your instincts are probably leading you the right way. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. But sometimes we as women, we can feel some things where they're not going the right way. And so the doctor comes out and he sits down. He talked to you. And he said, "Miss Jacqueline, I'm sorry to inform you that your husband passed," because he think y'all married, even though you're not. And you start, you know, your emotions kick in and you're hurt, and now you go and um, you try to make preparations, you know, to have all the arrangements of the funeral service and all this stuff. And while you're preparing the arrangement, somebody calls your phone number and say, "Hello, is this Miss Jacqueline?" And you say, "Yes, this is she. Who's calling?" "Well, this is Johnny's wife." And now you're in shock. See, you didn't spend 5, 10, 15, 20 years with Johnny, thinking that Johnny was divorced because Johnny told you he was divorced, and you didn't validate whether Johnny was divorced or not. So you went on with the relationship thinking that everything was hunky dory with Johnny. No checks, no balance. You got this house, you got this car's in his name, house is in his name. When you find out your name is not on anything, and the wife that he's still married to legally has rights to come in and snatch everything that you and Johnny build. That's life. But why do we as women place ourselves in those positions? Why is that? Why don't we feel it's important to check and verify? if the statements are true. If the man says that he's divorced, divorce papers, please. I need to see them. Why would I put my life in the hands of someone else and I build something with this individual, no commitment to him? And this is a lot. This is the norm in which we living in now. We're shacking with people, we're dating people, we're having all these babies. Nobody wants to get married, but we want to live like we married. And then when something happens, you can't collect nothing. And you've been sitting up in here 15 and 20 years with this individual with no benefits, no perks, no 401ks, no nothing. You don't have no rights to nothing. And you don't even consider your children. Did you consider? But you think it's okay to pop one baby after the next. Tell me, I love him. Well, Tina Turner said, what love got to do with it? You don't have nothing to hold you. You don't have nothing to sustain you. He walks out, divorce, leave, whatever it may be, and you're left holding the bag. Or as I said just a few minutes ago, you're thinking this man is free, and here is somebody sitting over here, comes in and snatch everything that you and him have built. And we don't think about none of that. Now you have no insurance, you don't have no credit, you don't have no money, you don't have no house, you don't have no car, you don't have none of that. Your kids are looking to you like, mommy, what we gonna do? Now you got to move back home with your parents. That's even if your parents are still living. How does that work? Why do we as women allow ourselves to fall inside of that bracket? Why is that? Why? Please help me to understand. Because, and then when it happens, you end up broken, you end up hurt, you end up battered and bruised, and then you end up thinking that every man that comes along is the same individual, and they are not. So you lump somebody in the other men into a box, but you don't want nobody to lump you into a box. And then when they say, what's wrong with you? You crazy, you lost your mind. Why are you so attitude? They have no idea of what you have set in. Get to know what's going on. Get to know the business that you're standing in. If you're in a relationship with anybody, a partnership with anybody, you need to make sure you know whose name is on the mortgage, whose name is on the lease, whose name is on the bank account, whose name is on the insurance policy, whose name is on the car. You need to make sure that you are covered. It's so important for us as women to educate ourselves. The idea of I trust my man. Yeah, but it's an idea. Can you really trust him though? Can you? And I'm not saying, not knocking men, because there are some great men out here. There are. But we still have to make sure we as women are doing what we need to do for ourselves. It takes nothing away from the relationship. It doesn't. But we have to understand the dynamics of relationship, and we have to understand life happens. We can't sit here and fool ourselves and thinking that the situation won't change. It will. Family members change, co-workers change, yeah, friendship change. You change as you change as an individual. We do need to wake up. You change as an individual. So, what do you do in those instances? Do you continue to use the excuse that I didn't know? No, that's not an excuse. You didn't know because you didn't want to know. You didn't. Relationships are a partnership. That means two people come together for one common cause. And I'm gonna give you a scenario. Say you're on a street, and this is how relationships are going. The yellow dotted line in the middle means it separate the lanes, right? So one person's going north and one person is going south. They're going in opposite directions, right? So if you get in a relationship that both of you all have, whether it's a friendship, family members, co-worker, business partnership, a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever it may be. If you get in this relationship and you all are going opposite direction, you'll never get where you're trying to go because you're going the opposite direction. That means you have a thought process of where you want to go, and he has a thought process of where he want to go, or your business partner have a thought process and they where they want to go, and you have another thought process where you want to go. Well, you'll never get to the direction you try to go in, going the opposite way. The only way you're going to get where you need to go is going the same way. That means you're on the same page. You all have the same understanding. You all have the same goal that you're trying to reach. You can have a healthy relationship going the opposite direction. And it does not matter whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, it's any relationship. It won't be healthy going in the opposite direction. And then when things like that happens, our our self-esteem is messed with, so we lose it. We lack confidence because it's been snatched from us. And so when we find people or we're in conversation with individuals, we're looking down, we're looking away, we're all timid and stuff because of the things that life has thrown the curveball. It's thrown a curveball, and life throws a curveball all the time. Donnie McClurkin had a song say, "We fall down, but we get up." Yeah, we fall down, we bump our knees, we bump our elbows, we bite our lip, we bite our tongue, but we have to get back up and keep moving forward. Don't keep recycling the same mistakes over and over again. It's a learning process. Nobody's perfect. We're not. But if you find yourself continually putting yourself in the same position, like, we're so desperate for somebody to love us. And so, however they talk to us, however they treat us, if they misuse us physically, if they play with our mind mentally, we try to justify, we try to make excuses why they doing it. He loves me, and I understand why he's doing that. But at the same time, you have this daughter who's watching you being mistreated and used, and you think that's okay. And then they grow up thinking that that is a form of love, and it's not a form of love. It's not. We spend all our time allowing people to dust their feet off on us like a welcome mat. And it's wrong. It's wrong. You deserve the respect. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be appreciated. That's why we are queens. You don't treat a queen any kind of way. We're special individuals. We was made that way. We're strong individuals. We can do anything. We are able to multitask and do different things. We have great things inside of us. But sometimes we as women, I don't think we see those qualities that rest inside of us. And we allow other individuals to tell us who we are, you know? Um, and it's not a helpful thing. It's not. And we end up swallowing any and everything. And I'm not saying all women, because we don't. All women don't swallow everything. But there are some women who are okay with what somebody say to them. Even in the workplace, they don't know how to speak up for themselves. If somebody say something to them, they don't know how to respond back because their voice have been snatched. And how individuals gain control, even abusers, they play with the mind first. See, they make you think certain things. You're not pretty enough. You're too fat. Your nose are too big. You're too black. You're too ugly. You don't know how to dress. Your breast is too big. You ain't got no butt. You don't know how to know how to satisfy me in bed. You won't do the things I want you to do, and all this stuff. And that's just chipping away at the ice, trying to sculpt it to be something that they want it to be. When they do ice sculptures, they chip away at the ice. And they chip so much until they form a beautiful ice sculpture. So in any relationship where you don't know how to use your voice, you don't know how to protect yourself, you don't know how to stand up for yourself, they chip away at you. And in their chipping, they're chipping away your confidence, they're chipping away your self-esteem, they're chipping away your strength, they're chipping away your power, they're chipping away your voice, they're chipping away your beauty, they're chipping away your belief that you are who you are. Now they start making you think that you're not that individual. And now as they're chipping, the ice sculpture is supposed to be you, but they actually form it to be somebody else, a version of who they think you should be. We are all individuals. We are all individuals. We can't be like anybody else, but be our own best selves. That's it. That's all. We don't have to settle. I'm never going to settle. Even when I was engaged, I didn't settle because I think more of me. I'm just as much of a prize to you as they are to me. That prize ship goes both ways. And if you can't respect me enough to realize that I am your prize, then we don't need to have this relationship. You're not controlling me. We're two grown individuals. You're not whooping my ass because I did that. I allowed that with my mother and my father. That's the end of the ass whoopings for me. That's not happening. And if I feel like that I'm right, we can have a conversation and discuss what, come to some kind of common ground. But you're not going to be a dictator to me and tell me what I can and cannot do. My voice matters. Your voice matters. We shouldn't allow nobody to silence our voice. We just shouldn't. You can't judge my emotions. I love him. Well, you know, you may love him, but he may not love you like you love him. Close your eyes and go to sleep. You hear him tip out at night, lock the door, and he don't come back until the next day. That's not a relationship, and that's definitely not love. The problem is the same brain, the same results. So instead of the same relationship, don't seek a relationship, take a one. Well, you need to take some time to learn each other. But here's the thing. What we don't do as women before we get into relationship, we don't know what we want ourselves. We don't. So before you step into that relationship, you need to know what you want as an individual. You need to know what you will and will not accept. You need to know what's the boundaries that you're not going to allow anybody to cross. So let me run it down. As I say, I can talk about me. Number one, you're not going to disrespect me. That's number one. You're not. Number two, I have a voice just like you have. So I am not your child. We are in a partnership together. So my voice is just as important as yours. And number three, the biggest thing for me, don't raise your hand up at all unless you're raising your hand to cover your mouth for a cough or a sneeze. Or I declare there is going to be a problem. And it's probably going to involve the police, and I'm probably going to be fingerprinted. I'm just saying, I'm not doing that. My mother and my father chastised me. They whipped me for the things that I did or should have done or I did not do. But when it comes down to a partnership, when it comes down to a relationship, you're not putting your hands on me. I'm not allowing that. The next thing I'm not tolerating is demeaning me in public, calling me stupid, calling me dumb, calling me fat, calling me ugly. You're not doing that to me. That's not going to happen. And as I've said before, relationship, whatever the relationship, friendship, business partnership, husband and wife, or whatever it may be, we're in this together trying to reach a common goal. So both of our voices are important. So you can't sit here and dictate to me and tell me what I say go. No, boo, you tell that to the children because you are the parent over them, but you're not the parent over me. I am your wife. I'm your girlfriend. I'm your business partner. I'm your friend. I'm your cousin, your auntie, whatever it may be. So there are certain things that we as women should not tolerate, period, from anybody. Again, know what you want out of any relationship. You should know what you want out of any relationship. You should not be in a position to settle, to let somebody break you down so far that you can't even see the little light that's at the end of the tunnel. They have snatched so much from you. And again, in any relationship, there are good and there are bad people. But you have to protect, as my niece say all the time, protect your peace. You have to learn how to walk away for the benefit of you. And you see all the signs. You don't have to be ugly with the person because they acting ugly. You understand what I'm saying? You just don't. But again, life happens. Life happens. Know your business. Know if your name is on the mortgage. Know if your name is on the lease. Know if your name is on the car. Know if your name is on the bank account. Validate that that individual has gotten divorced. Tell him to show you the papers. If he's got HIV, you need to take some of these people to the doctor. Go with them and get their paperwork because some of them lie. They lie. You understand what I'm saying? And we can't act like that it don't happen. It do. And it could be that one thing that puts somebody over the edge that they will never recover from that. And it's always been that one thing that puts somebody over the edge. They don't know how to verbalize it. They don't know how to digest it. And they don't know how to deal with it. And then if they feel like if they tell it to somebody, somebody might think that they're crazy or dumb, or why are you dealing with this? But we deal with a lot of things until we get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Then we get sick and tired of being sick and tired. We know how to cut the umbilical cord and let it go. Some of us do. Some of us don't know how to cut the umbilical cord and let it go. When it comes down to insurance policies, we need to pay attention to that too, because beneficiaries is real. You have kids, you need to make sure your family is covered. Um, you need to make sure people always talking about, you see these advertising about your credit repair, and people talking about, oh, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to do that. Well, honey, let me tell you, credit is just like a jail record. It's like a high school diploma. It's like a college degree. You can't level up in position of employment until you have a certain score in your credit. You need a co-signer if your credit score is below 600. And now we think 600 is good, but 600 is not good neither. So we spend all this time on taking time to spend it on weed, to impress people that we really don't like, clothes and shoes. Take care of your business first. Cover and protect your family. Cover and protect yourself. Know what you want. Know the do's and the don'ts. It's all about you. This is a self journey. Nobody knows what your needs are except for you. You can't allow nobody to snatch your confidence and your self-esteem. You can't allow nobody to tell you what you should or should not do. If you have a desire to start a business, then go ahead and start that business. If you sit and you say you're sick and tired of working that job, do something about it. Do something about it. Don't sit there and complain about it and say, oh, woe is me. It's not going to change the situation. You have to change it. If that man is not treating you right, cut him off like they cut the umbilical cord when the baby come out the womb. Let him go. So you're going to sit there and waste second, minutes, hours, months, weeks, and years and be unhappy? How does that happen? Life don't wait for nobody. It continues to go on. And before you know it, it has passed. And now you're a certain age. You haven't accomplished the schooling you want to accomplish. You haven't started the business you wanted to start. You lost some good friends. Listen to stupid people. You let somebody snatch your voice. You don't have no confidence. You don't have no self-esteem. You let somebody pour into you that you're ugly, you're this and you're that. And usually when they tell you that, they go off and the person that they end up with don't look no better than you. They fat and they're not that great looking. But you allow this individual to mold you into something that they wanted you to be instead of being the best person you could be within yourself. All of us have something within us that we need to heal. that we have on some of our scars. We just have the band-aid covering up the scar. But unless you take the bandage off of the wound and let the air hit it, it won't heal right. But we leave the bandage on from month to month, from year to year, and everybody else is to blame except for the woman we see in the mirror. We have to do better, ladies. We should want to do better. We should want to be better. Again, this is a self journey. This ain't about nobody else. We all know what our shortcomings are. We all know we need to work on. We all know that we didn't accept some things that we shouldn't have accepted. I've accepted some things that I shouldn't have accepted. But let me tell you this. When I got to the point where I said enough is enough, I let that go. And as I told you in other streams, when I was engaged to be married, when that man told me, you're gonna go home and you're gonna put all the bills on the table, and you're gonna let me know what you bringing in, and trying to tell me what I should wear, and try to tell me what I should do, who I should talk to, who I shouldn't talk to. No, boo, I'm not a puppet. You don't pull the strings on me. Pull the strings on yourself, but you don't pull the strings on me. This is a partnership, bro. We're in this together. And if we can't work on this relationship as it is a partnership work together, we don't have a relationship. And as I've said in other streams, wedding, paid, dress, veil, hall, decorations, everything. And I would not care if I was standing in front of the church, fully dressed, makeup, everybody sitting in the church, and I would have turned around if I didn't feel it was right for me. And I'm not going to be married to anybody I hate to go home to. I would have turned around, look, public service announcement. I do thank you all for coming. I want you all to understand me real good. I appreciate all that you've done. Take your gifts, get your money back, but meet me at the banquet hall. We're still going to have a party. Because it's called a wake-up party. Because, see, I love me. I love me more. I love my peace of mind. You can't pay for peace of mind. You can't. Again, friends, families, employers, business partners, nobody on God's green earth is talking to me any kind of way. Because if I talk to you with the utmost respect, I expect the utmost respect in return. Now, I'm not saying that me and my friends don't go at it once in a while, but I love my friends. I do. And we go at it with each other. That's different. But when somebody sets out to make you look like a monster or a person that don't have feelings or is cold, I'm not dealing with that. You're not cussing me out like I'm a stranger on the street. That's not happening. Not at all. And I'm not going to tolerate it. Okay? So I'm saying to you ladies, life happens to everybody. It's how we deal with life and what we're dealing with. But think about it. If the man say he divorced, you need to get them papers, them divorce papers. He needs to show you. I'm going to say this, and I know it's a popular thing and people may not like it. Stop shacking and having all these babies by these men. And then he walks away and move on to somebody else. And then he marries that individual. And then you ask the question, why he wouldn't marry me? Because you gave him too much without requiring him anything. You didn't require anything of him. You didn't. Stop giving up your stuff freely without requiring something in return. No, I am not your baby maker. Then you go out when you want to go out, and I'm stuck here with these kids while you lollygagging in the street. That's not happening. And then when he walk away, you have 2 mouths to feed, and he don't want to give you no money to take care of those children. Women, we are in control of what we will and will not allow. And I'm not saying misuse it. I'm not saying do it the wrong way. I'm not. I'm just saying there are some things that we should not do. It's not worth it. And I think television has made a lot of things okay. It has. You see it all played out on TV. Uh, Having babies, and even on reality shows. Even with money, it don't make a relationship. And babies don't make the relationship. They don't hold it together. They don't glue it together. They don't tie it together. If two grown individuals don't want to be in a relationship, it's not going to work. Whatever it may be. And even in work, even in friendship, if I can be a friend to you and you can't be a friend to me, guess what? I'm not jumping over your fence to get in your playground and slide down your swing. I'm going to go to the next house that's going to be welcoming to me and ask me to open the gate to let me into the backyard. I'm not climbing no ladders and I'm not jumping over no gates or no fence to be a friend to anybody. I'm not. And that's just where I'm at, period. So love me, like me, hate me. I'm not moved either way it goes. So we have to get that mindset. We'll save ourselves a whole lot of heartaches and a whole lot of pain. And I pray that we learn how to forgive and let go, because people go on with their lives and we're still walking around moping, mad, angry, and frustrated with people that they have long since moved on. If the relationship didn't work, it didn't work for a reason. Let it go. He wasn't the man for you at all. Let it go. If the friendship didn't work and you've done your best, let it go. It wasn't a friendship for you. If the job didn't work, let it go. Sometimes, and I want you all to understand this, sometimes God be trying to get us to cut some cords and let some things go, but we're like this. We're holding on for dear life. And that's the thing that's killing us, because we're holding on for dear life. Sometimes we have to open our hands and release it. When we open our hands and release it, then you start seeing things happen. There's nothing wrong with cutting the cord and letting relationships go. Everybody's not meant to go to the next destination with you. They're not. You have seasonal people. Some people will be in all four seasons. Some people might be in two. Some people might be in three seasons. And some people may be in one season only. But you got to know when they season is up, close that door and keep it moving. You ain't got to ask the questions why or whatever it may be. It's done for a purpose. And if we're going to be better women, we have to think about those things. Open up that chest. Clean out that baggage that you've been dragging along and let it go. Let it go. Don't let anybody steal your voice. You are important. You are important. You have to know that. You have to believe that. You have to love you. You have to love you. And you have to know your worth. Do y'all hear me? Know your worth. Nobody can give that to you. You have to know it deep down within yourself. Know your worth. And nobody can take that away from you. Nobody. And let nobody strip you of your beauty. Because beauty starts from within and protrudes without. So know that. Know that you are queens. You are uniquely designed by God. Everybody is special in their own unique way. All right? So I hope, I pray that you've gotten some out of this conversation. I hope it marinates in your spirit. I hope you sit and ponder, digest it. I hope you share with other women. Again, what I do is not about me. It's not. It's not about me. It's about you. It's my purpose. It's my mission. This is all about you. It's not about me. So I want you all to know that. I want you make sure um, follow us on our social media outlet: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest. Go to YouTube, subscribe. Go to the social media outlet to a woman's heart.org. Sign up. Take a woman with you to the YouTube channel. Take somebody with you to a woman's heart.org. Go on the website to a woman's heart.com. Check out the t-shirt. I'm asking every woman on here to buy one t-shirt. That's it. Just one. Can y'all do that for me? Share this. This is a sisterhood. I am my sister. You are me and I am you. I am. I know y'all want to be me right now with these hot flashes going on. I know you don't want to do that. But it's all love. It's all love. And we're still highlighting women in business. If you know of a young lady who has a business, please send an email to number two, womansheart@gmail.com, and let us highlight. It's all about pushing each other forward. I'm not asking for any financial for me highlighting your business. The purpose is to get you some exposure. We fight too hard in this life. And it's time to change that narrative. Don't y'all want to change the narrative? Come on. We're so powerful when we stick together. We are. We don't want to be like them crabs in the barrel. Not at all. Okay, so do that for me. Go to levelup4u.com and purchase some healthy products. And we want to be able to help single mothers and women of domestic violence. If y'all can do that for me, I would love you forever. I would. I really would. I thank you so much. And again, Kanisha has put a code on the page. Um, Code 2, number 2, AW Heart. 30% off your entire purchase. Come on, go over there and let's support Batty Labs. We want to push our women forward. All right. That's our goal. That's our purpose. All right. I thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you all next week. Make sure you all have a fabulous rest of the week and an awesome weekend and share with somebody else. All right. All right. Talk to y'all soon.